Welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Mike.
Hello, I'm Kiki.
And we have a dialogue for you guys today. Ooh, it's got a very interesting title. The title is Background Information. Now, when you see someone on TV or on a stage, what is behind them, or in a photograph, what is behind them is the background, right? So if I'm standing here and you see a mountain behind me, that is the background. What is behind me? I need information about my background. But that's not what we're talking about here. No, background information is more about knowing more about something before you start doing it. You want to sort of collect a little bit more knowledge of a thing, have a bigger or better understanding of it before you make a decision or before you go forward and do something. That's what we're talking about here with this background information.
Right, and nowadays in modern society, background information is so important.
Google someone!
Yeah, because there are so many things that could happen because a lot of bad people doing bad things like scams.
Ooh, that's true.
You know, you could have phone scams, internet scams, and things like that. So, background information is done all the time by companies, right? When they're trying to hire someone new, they want to check their background.
Yeah. They don't think you're a bad person, they just want to know more about you and know your history.
Or if you're buying a house.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to know that. Did the house have a fire 5 years ago and was it fixed properly? Things like that. If you go to a new school, they might want to know background information about you, where you went to school before, what your grades were you on any teams or in any clubs or things like that. There's all sorts of things we would like to know about people or situations so that we can make good decisions now and feel comfortable with what's going on now by knowing what happened before.
Exactly. Okay, so today's dialogue is all about background information.
Let's find out. A reporter is interviewing Amber.
I'd like to start with a few background questions, if you don't mind.
That's fine. Go right ahead.
How long have you worked for the company?
I've worked here for over 20 years. I started in the sales department in 2000.
Okay, so as we mentioned, the title is Background Information, knowing a little bit of the history of a person, place, or situation. Now, as we mentioned, if you're going to a new school, then some people, the teachers or the leaders of the school might want to know background information. If you're applying for a job, the boss or the manager might want to know background information, but that's just one small part of their job. If you're a reporter, if your job is collecting news and writing news for television or for newspapers or websites, background information is a big part of your job. Maybe also if you're working for the government as a spy, you might need to know a lot of background information. So for some jobs, that's a big part of your job. And that's what the situation is here. It says a reporter is interviewing Amber. Okay, so Amber might be a famous person or an important person. The reporter is the person collecting the information, reporting the news. And of course, a good reporter will have a lot of background information so they can ask good questions.
Definitely. So a reporter is a person who is telling or describing the details of an event. They usually report the news or do interviews for different forms of media, like TV, magazines, or even radio. And nowadays, with new media, lots of people on YouTube or TikTok, almost anybody that is really interested in finding out the real story, they could be a good reporter if they ask really good questions.
That's true. And you might also know the word journalist, reporter, journalist, basically the same kind of thing.
So Here we have the reporter interviewing Amber.
Okay, and an interview is one of the main things reporters might do. They could go to a place and tell people on TV what they see happen, what's going on around them. But if they want to know more, they will find people who know more, and they will ask those people, these experts or the people who were actually there at the time, they will ask them questions. And when you're asking a person questions in order to learn things or to get more information, that will be an interview. So it's different from just a conversation or chatting. You kind of have a goal. There are certain questions you want to ask and certain information you want to get from that person. So if you've ever been on the TV news, if you were there during the earthquake or you saw the accident happen, or maybe you're a very famous person who lots of people want to know about, like a celebrity or a politician or a sports hero, then you'll be doing a lot of interviews. Many reporters will want to talk to you. All right, the reporter begins in a pretty normal way. I'd like to start with a few background questions if you don't mind. So there might be something really important in the news now that Amber knows about, that the reporter wants to learn about, but in order to tell us, the people watching, a bit more of the story, so we understand the story a bit better, let's go back a few steps, get some background information, and then when we ask you the really important questions, we'll understand everything much better.
Right, and as a reporter, it's always important that you don't insult the person that you are interviewing. So it's important to make sure they feel comfortable and don't be rude. And that's why the reporter says, if you don't mind.
If you don't mind. That good reporters will do that.
Right.
Yes.
And
professionals.
Amber feels comfortable enough. She says, that's fine. Go right ahead.
Right. And also some people might go, oh, background, this is wasting my time. I've already told people this information. But no, we just want to know now, so it's all there in the report. So here's a question. How long have you worked for the company? All right, so instead of talking about what you're doing now, we want to know when you started at the company, how did you get to the position or the job that you have now? Tell us a little bit about your story with this company.
Right, so more background.
Yeah.
She says, I've worked here for over 20 years.
Okay.
I started in the sales department in 2000, in the year 2000. Okay, so she's giving some background.
Yeah.
When did she start and what she does?
Right.
So she works in the sales department. And of course, sales is the exchange of something for money. So it is the action of selling something. So in this company, her job is to be in charge or work in the department where they sell things, sell their products.
Exactly, that's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, so for example, during Christmas holidays, the sales of toys increase dramatically. Okay, so she works in the sales department.
Right, a department is a smaller group or organization in a larger group or organization. When you have a big company, you might have thousands of employees, thousands of workers, and just to kind of keep things organized and to know who's doing what for the company, you will have different departments. A lot of companies, especially companies that sell things, will have a sales department. That is the department that gets the products out to the customers, makes the customers interested. You could also have a marketing department. That is the department that does advertising, that tries to get people interested and excited in buying something. Once they're excited, the sales department will do the selling. The company might also have an IT or a computer department. They don't sell things or make ads. They just make sure the computers in the office are working properly. So there's all sorts of different little groups in big companies or big organizations. And department is a word we often find in big companies and also in the government. The government might have different departments too. Department of Health, Department of Employment, Department of Education, all that kind of stuff. All right, so we know that Amber has been at the company for a long time, but that's about all we know so far. So let's take a break and we'll come back and learn more from this interesting interview.
That's a long time. Have you ever thought of working elsewhere?
Of course I have. But I've never acted on it.
Why haven't you?
The company has been very good to me, and I've had many chances to grow and move up through the ranks.
Before the break, we found out that Amber has worked at this company for 20 years in the sales department.
That's right. Okay. And that, of course, gives us some information. She's not new to the company. She knows this company very, very well. As the reporter says, 20 years, that's a long time, right? 20 years to be in one job, that is quite a long time. Have you ever thought of working elsewhere? Or have you ever thought of working somewhere else? Elsewhere, somewhere else. Have you always been happy here? Have you thought, oh, maybe I'll go work there or do a different job or anything like that? Or have you always been a happy worker in this company?
Okay, that's a really interesting question to ask Amber. Right. So she says, of course I have. 20 years is a long time. Of course, I've thought of going to another company or maybe having a career change. So she's thought of that, but I've never acted on it. Okay, so she's never acted on it, meaning she's never decided to really go and change her job or go to another place.
I see. So maybe she thought, oh, maybe I'll go and join the circus and learn how to tame lions or something like that. But no, she never actually did it. She never quit her job or went out to look for another job. But she did think about it, as you're right. 20 years is a long time. So why haven't you, the reporter asks her, why haven't you acted on it? Or why haven't you actually gone out to find a job at another company or do a completely different kind of work? Why have you always stayed here?
Okay, so she must have had a good reason to stay. So Amber says, the company has been very good to me.
Good.
That's usually a really good incentive for people to want to stay at a company.
And a good sign of a good company.
Yeah,
too.
that's true. And I've had many chances to grow and move up through the ranks. This is very important for a lot of people in their decision to whether or not they want to stay at a company. You know, they want to be able to do new things. They want to grow and they want to move up the ranks. So they want to get promotions. You know, they want to have better and higher level of their position every single time.
More power and money.
Okay, so what a rank is basically the position of someone or something that's in a sort of hierarchy or a class system. So we see different types of ranking in all sorts of organizations. For example, at school, you have rankings. You have a student, a teacher, a vice principal, and your principal. That's a ranking. And of course, we see in the Army lots of different types of ranking as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And even in a sales department, you could have the junior sales manager, then senior, then regional or district manager, then senior manager, you know, that kind of thing. And as you move up, you have more power, more responsibility, more money, and also probably more pressure and things like that. So there we go. That's the end of our interview so far. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with Amber. Sounds like she's a happy worker, but we're going to have to say goodbye to you guys. So take care of yourselves, and we'll be back with more good stuff in the very near future. Until then, all the best, and bye-bye. A reporter is interviewing Amber.
I'd like to start with a few background questions, if you don't mind.
That's fine. Go right ahead.
How long have you worked for the company?
I've worked here for over 20 years. I started in the sales department in 2000.
That's a long time. Have you ever thought of working elsewhere?
Of course I have. But I've never acted on it.
Why haven't you?
The company has been very good to me, and I've had many chances to grow and move up through the ranks.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 reporter 名词记者。My sister is a reporter for the local TV station. 我姐姐是当地电视台的记者。下一个单字 interview 动词采访面试。The manager only interviewed 2 people for the position. 经理只面试2名应征该职位的人。下一个单字 sale 名词销售，在这里呢横为复数形式。Mike works in the sales department. Mike 在销售部门工作。最后一个单字 department 名词部门系所。Peter works in the marketing department of the company. Peter 在公司的行销部门工作。Marketing 指的是行销。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 go right ahead 请便尽管去做，这是一个口语用法，也可以说 go ahead。我们来看看这个例句 If you have any questions, just go right ahead and ask. 如果你有任何问题，请尽管问。下一个文法 act on something 就某事物采取行动。act on 是一个不可以分开的动词片语On 可以用 upon 来代替。我们来看看这个例句 I received some advice from my teacher and decided to act on it immediately. 我从老师那里得到了一些建议，决定立即采取行动。Immediately 指的是立即的、立刻的。最后一个文法 move up 晋升，常见的用法有 move up through the ranks 指的是在同职等间晋升升迁，和 move up in the world 指的是飞黄腾达。我们来看看这个例句 After years of hard work, Gina finally moved up through the ranks. 经过多年的努力 Gina 终于升迁了。Rank 指的是职位级别。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Hey, it's Kiwi on the street.
I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie. Say, Kiki, you know, in English, we actually have a lot of phrases that we use that were from a long time ago.
That's right. And sometimes these phrases, they kind of seem like they don't really make sense, but actually they're quite meaningful. So today we are going to learn some new phrases. Let's work on some phrases. Okay. 一份好处分一杯羹
I think it's pie. A slice of the pie.
A slice of pizza.
Oh, I never heard about this. So maybe a slice of the pie?
A slice of the pie.
Slice of the pie. She's confident because she's correct. Very good. Then we have...
工作很辛苦劳累
Okay, so work like a cow or work like a dog?
Work like a dog.
Work like a dog.
I think it's cow. Work like a dog.
Work like a dog? I think Taiwanese is a dog, but I think because it's English, work like a cow.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. And you know what? It's actually also work like a dog.
Okay. I like dog.
But I like, me too, but I like your thought process. Okay, what did we learn today? We learned some new phrases today, but what do they mean? The first one is a slice of the pie. You may also hear a piece of the pie or a slice of the cake. These phrases in business all mean a share or a part of an amount of money or the business that is meant to be divided into different parts for different people. Our next phrase is work like a dog. The exact origin of this phrase is unknown, but one saying is that we all know working dogs, they work very hard, but they don't get paid. That is why sometimes this phrase refers to someone that works hard but receives little or sometimes no payment at all. It also describes someone who works tirelessly and puts in a lot of effort towards a goal or project. That's all of our phrases for today. KiWi later.